Greetings. Last episode, our heroes, while infiltrating the tower of Octavio Orask, Lightning Mage, our group was beset upon by 5 suits of electrically animated armor. They defeated the armor with some minor wounds, and now continue their search for the rune rods, which will hopefully give Ren Lightning's Hand. Welcome to episode 25. So our group here is, they're going to search the room. They've just got done with the battle. Martin has patched Tiny up to his best of his ability. Tiny is still going to be injured, so he'll keep the impairment. He'll keep the winded status. And that means his fatigue number is going to go up, and he's going to have a minus to everything that he does from here on in, pretty much, for days now. Ren, all her damage is unhealable because, over time it'll heal, of course, but she did it casting spells. And Rurik took some minor damage from hitting the from hitting these armors. But he is out a weapon because his weapon was destroyed. So I think Tiny is going to make Rurik a weapon. He's going to turn this table over, wrench off one of these legs, right? Try to get something big and hefty enough for Rurik to actually take on. I think Ren's going to search the desk. She's looking for notes, particularly, that could help them. Martin will search the wardrobe again, and Rurik will check the chest because he's the only one that actually has security system like traps and locks and so on and so forth. So he'll check the chest. Now, I don't think I actually put this to 2 for the time being. Or was it at 3? Oh, maybe it was at 3. Okay. So yeah, so there we go. So what we're going to do is, yeah, I think I set this to 3 last time. So we're going to keep it at 3. So we're going to search around here, and then we are going to roll our D12 and see if effectively it puts a timer on their exploration, right? Because at some point, the folks downstairs think something's up, or they hear a noise, or they see these lightning flashes through these rooms. Now, in some cases, they might be inclined. Now, they're looking out, so that is true. And they might be inclined to ignore them, thinking, oh my God, it's a wizard. But at some point, someone will go, hey, I need you to go up in there. And that's when we're going to then have trouble. Ren does not have either of these at the moment. So we're going to search everything through. Tiny will get his thing done. Ren's going to do a quick search. I'm going to give her a rune lore check. And that will sort of be her search in this case. So a couple things that I did indeed do. So I gave, because I've been keeping so bad a track of inspiration. I've been doing a crappy job, just terrible job keeping track of inspiration. And it's funny, and I don't know if I said this in a previous episode. I realize that the stuff I'm terrible at tracking fatigue. I'm terrible at tracking inspiration. Those are things I don't track as a game master typically. And the players, I rely on the players to track their own. I don't track encumbrance as a GM. I trust the players to track their own. And so it's wonky for me to track that now. So what I did was, I'll turn my camera on for 1 minute if you can bear to look. Here, I'll even make it big for a second. Whoa. Okay. So what I did was I took a tray from Dragon's Down, which an extra one because we had enough space to store all of this stuff. It was a reasonably well packed game. And I'm going to do a tray for chips for all the different characters so that I can then track their inspiration, just like we do here in, here in our tabletop game. Martin will be, it'll be Martin, Rourke, Tiny, and then Ren. Mr. T Mr. MRT always wins, W. Or they're just in alphabetical order. It's not actually that clever. But so I gave, and to sort of level set myself and zero myself out, I gave everybody back their 2 inspiration, except for Martin and Rorik. They got 1 taken away because they all both had a fatigue at the end of that combat. So I'm going to take that away. They have 1 inspiration. Tiny has 2 and Ren has 2. And we'll start tracking it with the chips. And that is going to be a much, much better system for me, I think, to manage. Okay, so so we're going to give Ren a rune lore check. She's going to get a +2 on that check. And that means that Ren succeeds on a difficulty of, what, 15 or less? So, yeah, she's definitely going to succeed. So what does she find? I have a list here of possible things here. So she's going to get notes on... Oh, yeah, okay. So she's going to get her father, or at least her presumed father, Octavio's notes on the rune and on the apparatus that he was using and how he managed to, to get the rune and not die. Notes on Lightning's hand. And that's going to give her +1 rune lore on Lightning's hand. And it is going to mention that he utilized locally sourced ? We'll say 8 or less locally sourced. Oops. I mean, yeah, okay. We have to roll 1d12. 11 not locally sourced. Ooh, that's rough. So lightning resistance potions to allow him to survive as he had to bind the rune and then go up in the rune. What Ren will note, though, is that this latest experiment required him to do the opposite. He had to be lightning not resistant. He had to be weak to lightning in order to allow more of the lightning charge to flow into him, hopefully. And then he was going to try to absorb it. So she gathers that he was actually trying to... Now, typically, a mage has to bind themselves to the rune to get it in the first place. And then you become a first circle mage. Second circle comes naturally as you just get more experience with it. And the rune might manifest itself more prevalently or not. It just depends on the rune. Third circle and fourth circle, typically you have to do something at the rune site to get it. And now we're going to go off on a quick aside. I would absolutely, as a game designer, tell GMs, if you want, to take that with whatever grain of salt you want to, you can, because it does apply a weird pressure onto mage characters that they then have to do something, and no one else typically has to do anything to then get their skills up. But a mage at some point needs to return to a site. Now, the reason I do it and keep it is because it is absolutely a free adventure for me. Oh, you've reached, skill level 17 in your rune? Well, maybe you need to go back to the volcano or wherever, right? Or go back to your master, or go back to, and so on. Go back to school. And so I keep it in there because it gives sort of an auto backstory. It makes mages a little bit clunky, but they're interesting clunky. So I do keep it, but I could totally understand if a GM said, yeah, that's annoying as shit. I don't want to have my players do that. We're in the middle of an adventure. I would just get rid of it. But anyway, nonetheless, Ren notes that he was trying to, and so she notes that Octavio was actually trying to push himself beyond fourth circle to do something different, spectacular, to essentially get a fifth circle almost. So she is going to search, I think. So there's also a fine writing kit there. I don't think she's going to take the writing kit. I don't think they're looting this place unless it literally directly relates to her getting the rune. She's going to roll a quick, let's see what we got here. 1d12 maybe. She's looking for a potion. 8 or above? 9. 1d3? 1. Okay, she gets one potion that she believes is lightning resistance. I suppose on like a, you know, one potion of lightning resist. I know that's super helpful. And in a week, I will not know that LH, what the hell LH or LR is. I'll put a question mark there. It's really Hand of Lightning. Lightning's Hand is, I think, a Kansas song. Will it fit as a 9? No, 9 is gigantic. What are you talking about, man? Even 8 is too big. There we go. We'll put it down to whatever. Okay, so she has that potion, and that could be good. If she wants to take that rune, getting a plus to her save is going to potentially save her. Technically, as written, it's a DL10 toughness check, or you die. Again, that's one of those where you go, well, as a GM, if you wanted to not have it be as dangerous, I'd understand that, but I do want mages to have to be really wary of going, yeah, I want to get 4 runes. It's like, do you? Do you? Because they all do something to you, and it's potentially dangerous to do that. So that's what she finds. Tiny's going to get him. He breaks the leg, so Rorik will have a -1, essentially a club. Let's do Martin. So Martin's going to go into the wardrobe. Did I write that the wardrobe could be? No, the wardrobe is not trapped. So there's a bunch of robes there, of course, and clothes and so on. It is a wardrobe, literally. There are really good, fine boots and a really, really fine cloak. And Martin is like momentarily sort of fascinated by the fibers and the make of this thing. But again, we're not looting anything. So he's going to leave it. He will see that there is a belt, and that belt has 2 like crystal obsidian maybe, but crystal daggers, which I wrote down already for him. There you go. So I wrote down belt and crystal knives. So I did know that he was going. I did know I was going to send him to this thingy. So I didn't want to forget about the knives. The knives are like D4, probably D6 knives. And he's going to take them, and we'll put 2. And the reason why we're going to do that, he's going to take those as opposed to anything else, is that, you know, he realizes that he can't use his short sword against these things typically, and that's dangerous. And so maybe if he can use the knife, or maybe he can give it to, what do we got here? I think Rorik can actually use a knife. So he could give Rorik these knives, and then Rorik's not going to take the damage from, as far as he knows, from hitting these things. So he might give it to Rorik. Because, I mean, Rorik's going to he's going to have crap anyway. A crap weapon anyway. So maybe he gives... I got a table leg I wrote down too. I did prep the table leg, but what's the crystal knife gonna look like? So I like the crystal knife. The crystal knife is probably not inaccurate. He still does a D8, probably plus a D6. So it's not better there, but he doesn't take the -1. It's a dagger, effectively. Let me look. Let's see what the weapon list says here. Yeah, let's make it a dagger. So it'll be D6, -1 parry, because daggers aren't, you know, hard to parry with a little knife, right? Durability 0, blah, blah, blah. Length is short, obviously. Don't know what the weight is. It'll have fast 1 and thrust, like a dagger. And I think, since there's 2 of them, I think we'll give one to Martin as well. But he does a D6, 2d6, effectively, because his strength is infinitely less than... So we'll do Crystal Knife. And Rurik will have a Crystal Knife. So those 2 guys get Crystal Knives. And, okay. We're going to give Martin a search test here. He has a search of 9 using his investigate skill. He's going to succeed on a 17. So he actually finds... He finds the back of this thing seems hollow and shifty. And we did draw that here. So what he notices is that this actually opens up into the, although he doesn't know because he hasn't opened it yet. So I think he calls out, guys, right? I found something. Now Rurik, in the meantime, is trying to lockpick this chest. Can he pick this chest? Good question, because his lockpick is 10, but the DL is probably something like a 12 or something. So we'll give Rurik a chance. No, he succeeds, almost succeeds, unless he wants to spend his inspiration. I don't think so. I don't think it's worth inspiration. We'll give him 2 more chances. Oh, he will succeed, actually. So he will pop the chest. So he pops the chest. Doesn't break any of his picks. There's a bunch of cash in here, which he is not, which, again, we're just gonna, it's a sack full of silver pieces, which we're gonna set aside. Just put off to the side. He searches around. There is nothing in here which looks as though it is, what do you want to say? It's not, there's no lightning rods in here, effectively. Is there anything else in here of super interest? No, probably just personal effects and money, and probably a good portion of that money is silver, and then a bunch of that money is something portable like gems. So there you go. So probably he has a pack. A pack, and that pack has clothes, a bunch of gems, right? You know, it's like his bug out bag, essentially. His grooming kit, and so on and so forth. A map of the area. Oh, that's intriguing. There's maybe a map of the area here with a location marked. Ooh. Give me 1 second. So there you go. I just wanted to make a list of the things that we had, that we found in the room that we might be taking. And do we take that? That's, oh God, you know, you hate to leave it because that's obviously a potential adventure site for later, but They probably stick to their right. No, I'm going to say no, we don't take it. So they leave the map. But yeah, his coat's in there and all that stuff. Like he has essentially a bug out bag, right? So this is what he would use if enemies breached the tower. He would take all this stuff, get out of dodge. Maybe there's something like even a wand in there, and they're like, oh crap, look at this. And Ren does have item lore. She can tell him that that's a wand. She can't tell him what it does unless she studies it for sure, but... And again, a wand would be highly valuable loot. But they are going to leave it alone. Are there more potions in here? Let's give it an old Oracle try here. Let's say on it's a 1 to 6, no. 7 to 12, yes. A 6, so it is no. So no more potions. She simply has one of the lightning resist potions. Chest wasn't trapped. Okay, good enough. Rorik will head over, I suppose, and check. Or does Martin simply think that this thing isn't trapped? It is, by the way. That door to the secret compartment is indeed trapped. Does Martin just open it, or is he cautious and careful? I'm gonna say on a 1 to 4, he's excited and he forgets himself and he opens the sliding door. He does not. He waits for Rorik to get over there. Rorik is going to check it for traps. Then he'll ask Ren to come over to check it for maybe a rune-style trap if he finds nothing. He does find nothing. Ren, come look at this for a minute, and she will. She's reading the notes right now, but she will come over, and she'll rune lore it, and she does not, she doesn't know for sure. Of course, it could always be on the backside, which would be very typical for stuff like this. But yeah, she does not see she doesn't see anything that leads her to believe, right? You know, no chalk dust or whatever, right? She didn't think so she'll go back to reading. I suppose Rorik goes in and he'll try to open it. So he will open it. And he will set the trap off. So the trap gives him definitely a puff of gas, which sort of sucks. It's a toughness save. DL 12, his toughness is 14, so he's going to succeed on a 13. And so so what happens is the gas starts, it fills up the small wardrobe, right? As he's trying to open this back door, he's in there. Martin is like close behind. The gas hisses out. Rorik like stumbles back. And sort of, pushes Martin out of the way, kind of. I think I just shrunk him. That's fine. Pushes him out of the way. I'm going to make Martin save also, but at a +4 because he's not in there, and it dissipates fairly quickly. It doesn't go out into the bedroom, per se. Now, his toughness is only an 8. And he'll blow it. But I'm going to actually spend his chip. So there you go. So if you hear a clatter, that's me putting the chip back in the poker box. So he will then succeed with his +4 on poisons. And they both become like, they both get a little numb, their faces or whatever, as they breathed it in, but do not succumb to paralysis. It was effectively a debilitating paralysis gas. Would have done some minor damage and paralyzed them for hours. Which probably ends the adventure because, frankly, at that point, I'm rolling, for someone to show up. In the meantime, speaking of, 3 or less? No one's going to show. So the alert level hasn't gone up. No one has shown up. I think Ren pockets the notes, of course. They pocket the crystal knives, as we said. Where's the notes? We don't take the map and location. We don't take the wand. That's lame. We don't take the fine, super fine cloak and boots. We only got one potion, one lightning resist, as far as we know. We don't even know it's lightning resist, frankly. And I think they will check to see where this goes. Now, once the gas is dissipated, Rorik's fairly certain. He's like, look, these things don't typically have they don't have multiple, gas containers for more than one, typically. So he says, let's go check. And I suppose he's going to go down and check out this. There's a ladder here. And so he's going to light a lamp, put it on his belt, go down, come back up in a few minutes and tell everybody that it indeed leads to a sort of hidden spot in the corner of the basement. So if they need to get from this private bedroom to the basement, they could do that. And then the secret tunnel, they could indeed do that. And that makes sense, right? Because he has his bug out bag here. So he would come here, boom, run, go down the into the tunnel and out and escape into the city. I think they're going to go up at this point. Oh, they do check these rooms, and these are just, again, storage, clothing. Like, he has some more clothes and another quiet place to, sit and repose. Not a study per se, but just like an extra. Oh, maybe it's like even a guest room or something too, right? It has an extra bed in it. But it seems to be mostly unused, and this would be a bath. So an honest to goodness bathroom. And there probably ultimately is a door that connects these as well then. But instead they head out into the passage here and then go up the steps. And the bathroom's just literally a bath. It has a bathtub. Might be an alchemical, like a heater for water or something of that nature, or at least a place to put coals for a fire to heat water. And a tub and so on and so forth. So they're pretty sure that they've got this floor settled. And they're going to head up to the next floor. And the next floor is mostly a practice room. So there are like rattan mats or almost bamboo, right? Shoots woven into mats. And they are waxed and preserved, and maybe it's like green reeds, so that they still have a little bit of water in them, maybe, and then they're preserved in some fashion. And there's mats laid down. There's a bunch of wooden targets also waxed in some fashion. So imagine a big open circular space that fills most of the tower's diameter. And it has mats for like a soft landing and several target like practice dummies. There are also several metal weapons here, spears, swords and the like, all blunted. And beside the rack carrying all the metal weapons, there hang a set of thick padded gloves. And there's also a little on the side, maybe a little medical treatment area. So picture a practice room with all that stuff off to the side in an alcove or whatever. There's a little medical treatment area with some, like med kit and stuff for the med kit and maybe burn salve and so on, right? In case you practiced a little too hard, maybe someone got a little too antsy. And I hate to say it, I think Martin actually is like, look, I know we're not stealing stuff, but I think he can. So he's going to actually, replenish his med kit. Right? He's going to like, look, I'll pay. I will literally pay him back if need be. But just in case we have something else we're going to need to do here, and in case it's dangerous, then I'm going to need, all this ready to go. So he takes that and he's like, takes the bottle of antiseptic and he takes the thread and the bandages and puts it in his own med kit. Another alcove off to the side then is open. So there's maybe a curtain of some sort, and then that opens to a balcony which overlooks, because overlooks the town. That overlooks overlook. So it's the overlook anyway. But yeah, it overlooks the town, which then goes and looks over down a hill to like the main market, and the university can be seen from here, and the big temple of Salem or Church of Salem and so on. So it's almost like a little tea balcony, right? There's a tiny table, a couple chairs. Maybe there's a place where the tea is prepared off to the side here. So you got the main practice room, the medical area, the little tea preparation area, and the balcony. They probably do not go out onto the balcony, again, because someone might be underneath and they don't want to make any noise. But there is nothing in here, no one in here, nothing moving in here. Do they take the gloves? Because the gloves, presumably, let's make a rune knowledge check again for Ren. Let's make a rune check. She has a 13. She's pretty good at it, actually. Yeah, she's going to succeed on a 21 DL. That's fine. Perfectly fine. So I'm going to say that Ren suggests that they take it. And she suggests they take these gloves because if Octavio was using these gloves to maybe handle an iron weapon or a metal object, and maybe he was doing that because he maybe had to use it to work on the apparatus that he was building. If that's the case, then maybe it would also protect someone from electrical discharge from these automata, like these animated armors. Right? So you could use a metal weapon and hit them with it, and then not suffer the damage. So who carries these bad boys? Probably Rorik again, right? I think. So he's gonna have special padded gloves. And we'll put that in quotes. Or we'll put that with a question mark, because we don't know. But we'll say that he has these big, thick, padded gloves. And again, they are placed near the metal weapons. And so that leads her to that sort of conclusion. But that's really all that's here, I suppose. I mean, except for Rorik stealing the medical supplies, they could probably get some tea. There's a little cart in the tea area if they wanted. But I don't think they feel they have time to get some tasty tea. Heck, and again, herbs. we could roll Herbalist and see if any of those teas have any medicinal properties. Heck, they could give you a plus to lightning saves. Having said that, no time. The group is going to head up because, again, we're worried about the alert 5. So, no, they're not quite, no one's quite ready to gather yet. So the group will head up, and they should be getting close to the roof now. Because this is what floor? What floor is this, by the way? Let me look. So the first floor had the audience hall. Second floor was the private chamber. Third floor is the practice room with the study and the tea room. The fourth floor will be the where they're heading. And there you go. So they're going to head up to the next one. And I'm going to copy, because I think their status is different potentially than when I did this in prep. Oh, no, I didn't copy them at all. So even better. Okay, so we're going to paste our heroes, and they're going to go up. And effectively, each floor you go up like a different left, right, left, right. So they'd be back on the left again. And I think Rorik is going to be first, followed by Ren, probably fairly closely behind. And then Tiny and Martin will sort of be right on the stairway leading up. And so they're going to... Rorik is quickly going to check this door just in case. And it's cursory look. He's not doing the full on, right, where he would be looking for what, like literally feeling the whole thing or probing the door for any. He doesn't. He just gives it a look. He's looking for maybe a repeat of that gas. So he's looking for holes for the gas to come out. The door is not metal bound the same way that the original door was, and so they think that it probably is not electrically trapped. And he's going to give it his okay, actually. When they open the door, they see the wreckage. And so the ceiling here is partially collapsed and leads to, you can actually see out into the night sky at this point because it goes up, another almost half a story or whatever, if not a little more. And you can see the roof where it was sort of blown out. And this thin gray line here, this faint gray line, I probably gave it a little too much of the ceiling blown out, but that's what I drew. And so I stuck with it. These are like almost metal cables and wires that hang down and sort of scrape and spark when they hit, and they're not, there's no reason to believe they are charged. Actually, they're probably not moving fast. They don't spark. Forget that. I shouldn't have said that. They don't know if they're electrically charged. They have no idea what's going on, if anything's charged or not charged, right? Or if anything has magical power coursing through it or not. This is a metal cage, looks like chicken wire-ish kind of material, but a little sturdier than that. There is actually a door to the cage in the back. And one of these cables hangs down and actually touches the cage. This is not a cage, it is simply a raised platform. Does have some runic markings on it. These are tables, workbenches, cabinets. This is the main work area, obviously, with all the apparatus and whatever bits he has to make things either, out of metal or out of, there's probably a pair of gloves here too. Maybe someone spots that. I'll put them here. I'll even draw a little pair of gloves. Let's put them here. I won't really draw a pair of gloves. I'll draw, I'm not sure what that is. That is None of that's any good. We just need to get rid of that. There you go. There's the gloves. And here is the corpse of presumably Octavio, who has fallen from the roof down to here. And he's got a gigantic metallic harness and lightning rod stuck to him. And in the back here, roaming around sort of aimlessly, is a being made of vaguely floating. It looks almost humanoid, starfish humanoid-y kind of lightning cloud coalesce with 4 limbs and maybe what could be considered a head. But it is not quite as formed as, say, you know, an Atronak would be in Elder Scrolls. That looks like a person or a big stuff. It's closer to what probably a Storm Atronak looks like, really, which is a little less human and a little more monstrosity, right? But it's big and looks like nasty. Like as it moves past some of these metal things, they do twitch, right, and spark because it's giving off electrical emanations. Does it outright notice them? And I'm going to say mostly no. They can probably just close the door as it's in the back there. Let's say on a 1 to 3. Oh, it does. That's too bad. So it immediately almost, as that door opens, it's like something in the room changed. So as soon as the door opens, some static in the air that had been accumulating, or ozone or something, as this thing is pacing back and forth over near the body of its dead master. Something changes and it notices that change immediately, and then boom, leaps up onto the platform. And I think Rorik closes the door. And then they're gonna have to figure out what the hell to do. So and I have a very pensive look. I mean, you can't see me, but my look is very, very concerned right now because that Storm Elemental is no joke. It has a fair bit of hit points, 60 hit points. It's ridiculous. It is not. They're not meant. I mean, fighting this thing is a bad idea. And I would tell my players that, by the way. I would say you can fight it. And I'm not saying it's a losing battle, but I tend to tell them when I think, I don't know how this is going to go, guys, because I mean, let's look at this thing's stats real quick. So this thing is an attack 16, defense 15. So it is very fast, way faster than them, and way better, right? And I do that partly because it's lightning, right? Lightning is fast. Earth might be a lot slower if it was an earth elemental. Damage of 2d8 plus 2 is potentially, I mean, it's 11 points on average, which is going to wound everybody on average. But a max of 18, unlikely, but horrifying. Worse, it has 60 hit points and a wound threshold of 15, and it only takes half damage from non-magical attacks. Now, the crystal might do full damage. The crystal knives might do full damage. Probably alchemy, the chill might, but I don't think he's out of chill. I would consider, I don't know that acid even does full damage. Obviously, Ren can do full damage with her spells. So not good. Not good at all. So I definitely, I mean, I don't think the group should fight the thing. But Ren recognizes the corpse has the rod she needs. She has read the notes, right? She goes over the notes again. She says, well, if we can get it So she looks and she points to in the book. She's like, look, guys, right here, that cage is the key. If we could possibly get that thing to touch the cage or connect it to the cage with those metal cables or whatever, right? Then it would dissipate. It would discharge. And we might possibly be able to manage it that way. Nonetheless, she's pretty sure it can't get through to them through the cage. So in the cage, they would be safe. Now, that might or might not be a great idea. And frankly, Ren could then go in and cast through the cage, I suppose. But I don't know if there's enough space for her to... Probably enough space for her to jam... Well, what's the intent of the cage? Or, you know what? I'm gonna roll it, because maybe Octavio actually would do something like that, right? He could utilize some kind of apparatus or spear kind of thing or whatever, and he could keep these things in line by being protected and attacking them from within the cage. So let's say on a 1 to 4, there's not enough room to cast or attack out. 1. No, that's not what the cage was for. So she goes, yeah, I don't think I can actually cast anything through those bars. Maybe the spear, but even so, then that attack would be very awkward and probably at a little bit of a penalty. Do we... Maybe Rorik can sneak in, although it's seen them. They don't know if it's intelligent or, you know, really, or a beast or an automaton. They don't have beast lore at all. She has rune lore, so she might, you know, right? So she knows at least that it's probably some kind of summon, that he has probably summoned it. Maybe it was his servant, and maybe it helped him set up the thing or whatever, but she doesn't know if it's intelligent or just follows his directions. So I think what they're going to do, so Rorik will have the gloves on at least. Ren will cast her shield, because I think that's the important one, really. So Ren's going to cast her shield. Let me actually, I don't want to be... Oops, wrong widget there. I want to be at 120 so you all can read that, but I might want to zoom the map out occasionally. So Ren's going to cast shield. She is she has an 11 in her skill right now because she did take a level, but she will succeed. So she has the shield, and we'll say for 6 rounds. That's the super important one. But I'm not going to say she's not going to try to cast the spear. She'll try to cast the spear a round later, and she will blow it. I am not going to spend on it. She is going to lose the 2 extra levels, and she is going to be probably done for the moment in casting. So she loses 2 more levels. She's down to 9 of 12. And she's like, I don't know that I can. I mean, I might be able to. You know what? She's gonna try one last time at a -1 now. 0. She's gonna blow it. That's gonna be another level. Oh, she didn't try again, by the way. I actually was looking to click to get this done. So she's down to an 8. So she needs to return 4 levels to cast, and she just has this shield for another, whatever, 4 rounds. And she'll use that to maintain the shield, pretty much. And she will take the club that Tiny got, just as a makeshift stopgap. And then Rourke opens the door. What is the is quietly, he cracks the door. What's the disposition of this thing? So I'm going to say the lower the number, the closer, the more the creature is just at the door watching. 9. So he isn't. He is on the other half of the room. And indeed, momentarily, he is partially out of sight. He is over here. Rourke is going to use this time to sneak into the room. He will make a sneak check. Ooh, -3, 8. Pal, it's not great. He's going to sneak. He succeeds at a 9, effectively. This thing does have a reasonable... It does have reasonable saves. I don't know that it's... I'm going to say that its perception, its basic is something like a 12, maybe, right? And so Rourke heads in, and he makes his way partially in. But as he's going, he notices, he's going to notice. And yeah, the thing doesn't sneak past either, right? So he's going to notice that these wires move and start to spark. And he realizes this thing is sort of creeping a little bit behind this work table. It is, he thinks it's trying to catch him, to ensnare him. And so Rourke's going to go to here, behind the cage. I do think the other... Ren is going to come in. Martin and Tiny will sort of... The door will be open. I'm going to mark her down another round. So Ren will have her shield up. Knowing what she knows about this thing... And she is going to, if it comes at her or near her, try to use her shield to defend herself. Because the shield is made of ice, and so it doesn't suffer when he hits it. And again, try to coerce the thing toward the cage. The thing realizes it can't get by these wires and sort of avoid, he doesn't want to touch the wires. And so he 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and just 6, 7 onto the pad, looking menacing and sparking. Okay. God damn it. I don't like this. I don't like this at all. Let's it looks like initiative time here. I am not super jazzed about this. We'll give him a turn. I think he has a +2 initiative as well. And so it's him and Rourke at the top of the list. Martin, Tiny, and then Ren. And we're going to roll 5d12. So Rourke is a 12. The creature is a 3. That's probably for the best. Martin is an 8. Tiny is a 6. She is a 2. So she is the only Slowbee on the party side. Everybody else gets to go first. 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know that I want to leave Rourke. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And what does Rourke get to move? His move is an 8. 8. So he's going to go and duck sort of half behind, right? He's going to keep his eyes out, but lowish. And he's going to move that way. I don't know that Martin goes in. I think Does he? Does this thing just need more targets? Sort of. You know what I mean? Like, do you try to distract it by making targets and, you know, hoping that we'll stick next to the cage and maybe the cage will protect us? I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're going to go to the cage. To the door of the cage. I don't like it because this thing could kill somebody. Tiny goes 1, 2, right? He's going to do the same. He's going to go here. And sort of protect Martin for a moment. The Storm Elemental doesn't know. I'll let Rorik make a sneak check real quick too. His sneak, that's not terrible. What does that sneak check say? That sneak check is a 12 plus 4 is 16. So I'm going to say that he's hidden. The creature might have, mentally saw him go behind there or not. I'm not sure yet. But currently it is focused on these three. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It could charge at Ren. Or go for Tiny and or Martin. I'm going to give it a good roll 1d3. It's going to go 1. It goes right for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's going to charge through. And I'm going to say that it's going to actually make the charge attack. So its attack is a 14. Ren, strangely enough, has a 14 with that shield that she has. She is going to... give ground and maybe entice the creature to also come after her. And I'll roll 2, which I actually didn't want to roll because that puts it. Yeah, it can do that. It can go there. So it's going to come straight down at her. It's going to follow her up. She gets a 14 block versus its 14 attack, but she gets a +2 to her block because of this shield. So she'll be up by 2. The creature rolls an 18 total. She gets a 20 total, and so she takes the block on her shield, right? And lightning damage. And she is maintaining, I mean, she is going to maintain the shit out of that thing. Ren gets to go. She's going to take her free 5 foot, or free, I mean, the 5 foot step, the 1 hex move. She is still within contact with its base, so she doesn't take an attack. And she is going to... I don't know. I don't know that she does anything, actually. I mean, she might as well take a half action. But I don't know that she actually wants to do anything else. I mean, she could take the spear. She could try the spear again, but she's already down by 2. She might luck out, but she might fail. And she really wants to maintain what she's got, which is the shield. So she might just not bother. I think so the only problem I see with this is that they've now gotten themselves into a little bit of a spot where the door is now a problem. I mean, she'll take just a random shot with the club, Oh my god, she actually hits it. She hits it and auto wounds it, which is weird. So it does have a wound threshold. She can technically wound it. She is not good with this weapon, but she does crack it one. That is 2d6 minus 1, which I don't have written for her. She does 4 points of damage in the head. So she smacks it in the head. I'm gonna give her the 1 die wound because she did auto, because it does have a wound threshold, and I do believe it's actually only 2 points of damage because it's not even 4, it's 2. So it does take 2 damage. She actually does get this lucky shot, and she smacks it down to 58, but she does hit it in the head. And I'm going to say that means it's core. She hits whatever lightning core this thing is. It does not, it doesn't not wound. Like the other things were automata. This actually is a quote-unquote a living being, and it can be sort of damaged. So she's going to roll a 1d12. In the core, she rolls a 3. That's not going to do much, for sure. And I'd have to mark what wounds do I think that it is impervious to or whatever. If indeed any. It does daze it. So there you go. So it is dazed. So what does daze mean? Daze means it takes a -1 this round, and that's okay. It loses its zone of control and can only take a single half action. So there you go. So through its next action, it has no zone of control. I mean, I think Rorik sees this as an opportunity. Rorik's going to make an athletic check. So Rorik's going to do an athlete, probably a DL8, and he's going to just go over this table and get next to the guy, right? So 1, 2, 3. He wants to make a half move to here and then pull the thing out. So 2. So he makes it by 4, and he leaps over the table, smashes some of the crap on it, right? And just kicks it over. And then a muscle check, probably to pull it out, but it's a strangely easy muscle check, and I'll tell you why. He succeeds at an 8, but that's going to be enough, and I'll tell you why. As he pulls this thing, the body is so burned, and that he just pulls it loose, and you know the dude turns to dust, right, and crumbles. And so now Rorik has this lightning rod. It's like a sword. It's like if you played the Atari 2600 Adventure. He has the arrow sword. He's got the lightning rod. So he does have it. I don't know what Martin does at that. Because I don't think we. So I'm sorry for the dead air. That's my fault. I sort of got lost in thinking, what the hell am I trying to do here for Martin? Martin is rethinking his life choices right now. He sees that Rorik has the widget, and the answer is, hell, we need to get out of Dodge. But he does know that Ren is going to be sort of stuck there momentarily. I think Martin's going to go 1, 2, 3 back against the wall here. Save his half. Save a half phase. Tiny is going to I think he'll step up and take a shot. But he's going to miss. Just to, like I said, to harass it and so that it doesn't immediately attack Ren. Although, frankly, attacking Ren is literally the best thing possible. So maybe that's a terrible idea. Maybe that was a bad idea. The Storm Elemental is dazed. And now it has 2 targets, unfortunately. And it's going to attack Ren, though. Ren is going to give ground again. Straight back this time, though. And the thing can choose to follow down to here. And I suppose that it will. And it's going to take a shot at her. That's a 0. So it's 16. She has a 14 plus 2 because she gave ground. She is going to spend 1 inspiration to get it to miss because she will just raise her score by 1. So she rolls essentially the creature rolls a 26. And she rolls a 26, which is a hit because the attacker wins ties. And then she ups it to a 27. And she's like, no, you miss. And so she just barely gets the shield up in front of the creature. It is no longer... Oh, not true. She does not need to spend. It's at a -1 until it makes that attack because it is dazed. Nice. Okay. That actually makes me even happier because... So it is now undazed. But she is missed. This, and her shield is running out here in a moment. Rurik is going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Rod in hand. Or does he go around the other side of the cage? So he knows that he's like, well, we need to get it to touch the cage. Maybe we can use this conductive rod to touch the cage, and I got these gloves on. He's going to make 1, 2, 3, 4, and then make a damn tactics check. He blows it. No tactics. 0. Womp womp. He is done. Martin is going to, he just blows his half. He's not going to use his half phase, I think. I think he doesn't have anything going on there. We'll just clear it. It's his turn to act. He's going to go. It really isn't a good thing for him to do at the moment. So he is going to hold, or no, 1, 2. He's going to help Rurik in whatever 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? So in whatever endeavor that Rurik needs done, he's going to move and help do. Tiny's going to take another shot. Tiny has his total is what? What is Tiny's total here? Tiny's total. He has a 13, 12 because of the club thing. So he's going to get a 15 total. That actually hits. So Tiny actually does damage. Tiny does 10 damage in the arm, so one of its limbs or whatever, which is actually 5 points of damage. We're not gonna bust this thing down. Like fighting this thing is a bad idea. So we're gonna try. So roll 1d2. Tiny will be 1 this time. She will be 2. Ren is 2. Okay, so Ren is 2. She's going to give ground. And that thing has to decide to come down to here. Which it will. And chase her down. -2. So its total would be effectively a 14 attack. She has a 14, 15, 16 defense right now, so it misses. She keeps blocking it. I mean, her shield is almost down to nothing. She's going to have to maintain the shield. She can maintain the shield at a DL of, I'm just going to have her roll it right now on her round. She maintains at a DL of 8. She has an 8. So she wins by 3. So she can maintain for free right now. And so she gets 6 more rounds of shield back. On her action, what is she going to do? I think she's gonna like, give me the rod, give me the rod. And Rorik's like, I have the gloves though, right? So they're sort of yelling back and forth as to what to do. And I'm not sure they're sure. We're gonna make fatigue checks for our guys here. It'll be Rorik. It'll be Martin Rorik. Mr. T always wins. So it'll be Martin is first. He takes a fatigue. So I'm going to give him a red chip. There you go. Red chip for Martin. Rorik does not fatigue. Tiny does not fatigue. Ren does not fatigue. Done. Alert level. So stuff's going on. This thing is firing like doing lightning crap. Their alert level was 3. I'm going to roll it again and then up it to 4. No one hears them yet. It is Rorik's turn. I don't, good question. Good question. Good question. What are we doing? Rorik is going to go, but he is waiting on, like, maybe he waits. Maybe he just waits. 1, 2, 3, 4. He could hit it with this thing, but I don't know that that really does much good one way or the other. He could hit it with the goal is to attach it to the cage, I think, is what Ren is saying. Rorik is going to wait until at least after Tiny goes. So Rorik is holding his action. That puts him at a 5 now. So when you hold your action, you then move your initiative down. Martin's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, just like that. And maybe he even grabs this cable. So he will have access to this cable. So he grabs that off of the thing. It's not charged. I'm going to, you know what? On a 1d12, on a 1, it is. It is not. So he grabs it. So Martin has access to this now. Tiny. She's like, make room, make room. And so he's going to back to here. Make his, 5-foot step effectively and then miss the creature. Rorik is going to go. One, two, three, like that. So he's going to charge up with the thing. And he's effectively going to try to jam it like this, right? So he's going to reach in there and sort of, try to connect it to the device. It's going to be probably just a, normal attacky thing. I mean, he does have sort of improvised weapons. And so I will give him a normal attack check on this, but he is not going to get it done. He swings, sort of flails wildly with it. The Storm Elemental has 3 people now. And will, go after Rorik with it. Rorik is going to block with this thing weirdly, and this thing, I'm going to give it. So it does seem to, I will say this, it does seem to, I'm going to say cower, but be very wary of attacking Rorik as he swings this this rune rod at the Storm Elemental. I think the Storm Elemental will take a small minus to attack. We'll say a -2. That gives it a 14 attack. Rorik has a 12 defense, typically. It still sort of hits. It still hits. But Rorik could spend a chip, which he will, to make it miss, because it just rolls what it needs to hit. And the Storm Elemental is done. Ren. Oh, hold on. I know that is literally the most unhelpful thing I could be doing right now, is oohing into the microphone. Ren's going to grab the potion of lightning resistance that she took, and she's going to quaff the potion of lightning resistance she took. And I'm going to say that takes her round, and she's going to say to Rorik, give me the rod. So she has her shield up. Right? Shield's up. She has lightning resist. And she is telling this dude, give me the rod. Give it to me. And that's the end of the round. So interestingly, I don't have tactics. If I have tactics, I would re-roll initiative, although because it'd be great if Rorik and the Storm Elemental could go first, but it's unlikely, Rorik and Ren, but it's super unlikely that is even a thing. So I think we're just going to keep the initiative as it is. Damn it. So I think Martin's like, God damn it. This isn't going to work. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And he's actually going to use this one, because this one's hanging on the top of this thing, and he could drag it down if he wanted to and try to slap at this thing, although that's such a bad idea. So I don't know if he'll do that yet, but he is done. Tiny's going to take the shot still taking the shot. He will hit it. He will hit it for 9, which we'll say is 5 in the head. He does 5, does the damage. So they are making, so I imagine that there's, like pieces of something in there, like stone or metal or whatever, and they are knocking them away piece by piece. Rorik will hand the rod to Ren, and he will draw the crystal dagger effectively. Storm Elemental is going to attack one of the 3. He goes for Tiny this time. Tiny is going to all-out defend, all-out block. So the thing has a 16 attack. Tiny has a 12 defense. All-out is 15. So the thing misses by 1. So Tiny is literally like just, right, backpedaling and swinging wildly in an attempt to just parry the blow away. He loses his action, though. So Tiny, I'm going to put triple X at the end of your... So his action is forfeit next round. The Storm Elemental goes. Ren has the potion. She has some inspiration. But, she isn't quite there yet. She is going to take a full round. She has light armor, so, leather bits and so on. Does she have anything else? She's going to take a full round. Unfortunately. And undo whatever buckles or bits or whatnot, right? She's going to essentially take a round to situate this rod such that it can be touching her bare skin somewhere, right? So whatever she does, maybe she, she takes a loose buckle, rips it to the side, right? She really wished Martin were here. She'd be like, pour some acid on this thing. She yells that. She's gonna save her phase. She's gonna yell to Martin, pour acid. I need you to come here and dump acid on my chess piece. And Martin's like, what? So she is going to save through to the next round. So in other words, she loses her action this round. And she's going to wait for Martin to get there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 again. So Martin will. Yep. Martin will go there and be done. But Ren is stuck acting. She is going to hold her action all the way down through. Tiny is going to take a shot. He misses. Sure, Rurik will take a shot also. Again, to distract this thing, to give them time. Ren was waiting. She is now a 4. But she has to wait for Martin to do another thing anyway. So she's going to actually just wait all the way back through to a 2. Storm Elemental goes. 1d3, it attacks Ren. That sucks a little bit because she's going to lose her next action if she all-out blocks. She is going to all-out defend. This thing is going to miss. And Ren has... Oh, and Tiny can't act, right? So, because, yeah. Ren loses her next action. So Tiny... I'm a little pissed because... It's not effectively, it must be, oh, I must have copied and pasted. This is the other Tiny, pretty much. Similarly, it's the other Ren. So the Storm Elemental misses Ren. Ren loses her next action, which is this action. And so she is done. Martin comes up, and he is going to take acid out, and he is going to essentially destroy her chest piece with it. So he is going to pour it, on whatever, the buckles and so on. And we'll say that with a round's worth of concerted effort, she is going to be able to at least tear this thing open enough. So her leather vest is gone. And, he tears into the buckle. She goes, great. And she tears it off and tosses it onto the floor in front of her. Done. He should have not swung last time, so he is done. He'll swing this time and miss. And then Rurik will just take a shot. He'll hit, actually. And Rurik does what? 2d6 now with this? No. d6, d8. Right? Yeah. So he does 7. It doesn't really matter. That's going to be in the... Doesn't matter where it is. It's going to be 4 more points. And now the Storm Elemental is going to take its shot. It's going to go after Rurik, who just hit it. It is... And Rurik, even if he is going to give ground, the thing really can't follow. I suppose it can. It can actually go there and fill into that space. Rurik's defense is a 12. 13, 14 with the plus. It's going to hit Rurik. It does 9 points in the 9. 9 in the 9. Rorik has in the 9, he has 3 points of armor, so he takes 6. That's not a wound. That's good. That thing can do so much damage so quickly. Heck, next turn he might lightning bolt these two. Storm Elemental goes. Ren now has her chest piece off. She's got the potion quaffed. She is going to take this rod, jam it up against her chest like she's seen in the book, and she is going to then essentially charge forward and plunge this thing into it and try to essentially utilize it to get the rune. It's probably dumb as shit, but, and I'm going to say maybe that's okay. Like, maybe that's fine, right? That's fine. This is a storm elemental. I would allow that as a GM, as a way to do that, but I would make her roll the same roll. So it's a DL10 toughness check, or else she is fried. I would absolutely suggest against it as the GM, but I would totally allow it. I'd be like, are you sure? Okay. Actually, what I would do is, and I've done this to people in the past, I go, okay. My players have unanimously told me that's when they know they might have fucked up. Give them the, okay. Or look to the ceiling, because at that point, they say they know that I'm trying to figure out if I can save them or not. So so bam, chest plates on the ground. She jams this thing into her, she has just whatever cloth thing underneath, and she just jams it up against there. The other side is sticking out, protruding out. And so she grabs that with both hands, and she just steps forward and leans into this thing, and it immediately discharges through him, or through the rod into her. And so I'm going to make a skill roll. Now, she has a +2 to this test. Her toughness is 11. That gives her a 13 to save against this because of the +2. It's a DL10 to get first circle or death. So she needs to roll higher than a -3. -3 or higher, I believe. She rolls a 0. So there you go. So, so she gets the total of 13, 18. It gets a total of 16. Or actually, no, she has 13, 18 to 15. So she succeeds. And there is a bright flash. Everyone is thrown backwards. Right, Tiny smashes into the table here, knocking stuff down. Rorik is thrown backwards. Martin is thrown backwards. There's a loud crack. Ren is held in place as she is being essentially shocked. This thing is discharged like into her. Oops, 61, 60, 10. It is stunned. It takes 31 damage. I mean, it's going to be gone by the end of this. Ren is going to take some ungodly amount of damage also, but it will be much, much less, of course, just because. But she is zapped. She is knocked unconscious. She has 7 points left. This thing is dissipated. The top that she had underneath is like burned off of her, exposing her chest. And on there is again the lightning brand, the forked brand that's the hand of lightning, and it has merged with the burns that have spread across her chest that then look like the sort of lightning spider webby pattern. And she's smoking. Her hair is smoking. And she drops the rod, of course, as it clangs to the ground. Beside her, sure, alert level 5. 5 or less. If I could get a D12 on here, that'd be great. I obviously cannot. Roll 1D12. So still no movement from downstairs. This thing is gone, by the way. Is she all right? Like that's what they're, right? They sort of stand up. Is she okay? Martin runs up. He's the first. He's the medic, too. He'll do a medical skill check. Good enough. I mean, it's an 8. Yeah, she's fine, but she's out of it. She's going to be out of it for a little while. We need to get her out of here. And I think they... Can someone carry... Tiny, can you carry her? He's like, yeah, I got it. And he hoists her up over his shoulder, right? And Martin will take the rod. And Rorik shakes his head. It was a damn risky thing to do. Yeah, but it did solve the problem, Martin says, at least. So there is that. And I think they're going to get out of Dodge. And how they'll get out of Dodge is probably go to the secret pass to the basement. And I think that is where we will end the episode. So I'm gonna, you know, like, I think they're gonna get out, right? Especially with that last alert roll. So finally it would pop once I got them to alert level 6. So finally, probably as they're already on the second floor, someone has, you know, someone sees something, or a local saw the lightning flashes up at the top, and they're going, what do you got? You know, right? No one heard the crack. And we're going to say that maybe a storm started to roll in as they started to fight up there. And that sort of caused the guards to think, oh, it's just some lightning or whatever, right? And so they didn't immediately start heading up as the storm elemental got riled up on the top floor. And so by the time someone comes to them, the party is made their way down the steps back to the second floor, and they can probably hear the commotion as the guards open the door down below and start to pour in, but they will make their way down the ladder with Tiny having an 18 muscle. He can carry Ren fairly well, even down a ladder. He's pretty sturdy. His 18 is indeed remarkable. And so he carries her down, and then they make their way out the tunnel. And they've gotten the rod, they've gotten the notes, they still have the pair of the gloves. But I think that's it. I think that's where we're going to end this. And I do appreciate all of you sticking with me this long through all these episodes. Please like the channel, subscribe if you like this, and we will see what is next for our heroes here in the coming few days. Thanks a lot for listening, and have a good weekend.